run from task to task, you say yes too often, and by evening you feel hollowed out, mentally tired, emotionally frayed, and oddly guilty for being tired at all. This chronic depletion isn't a moral failing, it's a mismatch between how modern life demands energy and how your nervous system actually produces and spends it. The good news? Energy is not an all-or-nothing resource you must endure or conserve forever. It's a flow that can be triaged, allocated, and replenished with rules so small you won't resist them. Today I'll teach you a simple science-aligned framework I call the Energy Triage. Notice, allocate, buffer. It's a 3-move loop you use whenever you feel a drain coming on, plus 2 daily habits and a 2-week training plan that convert reactive exhaustion into strategic energy management. No willpower theater, no radical scheduling, just tiny choices that change the energy math inside your day. Start with the core idea. Most of our fatigue comes from 2 predictable errors. Error A: we treat attention, emotion, and physical stamina as identical and spend them in the same way. Error B: we let novelty and urgency dictate where energy goes. The Energy Triage flips that script. Step 1. Notice 10-30 seconds. The moment your shoulders tighten, your thoughts fuzz, or you feel a small spike of dread before a meeting, label the energy state. Tired, cognitive, tense, social, flat, physical, or irritable, emotional. That one-line label isn't navel-gazing. Neuroscience shows that naming internal states reduces their volatility and increases prefrontal regulation. Don't analyze, just notice and name. Step 2. Allocate 30-90 seconds. Once you have a label, decide which type of energy the upcoming task truly requires and allocate accordingly. Use 3 small allocation principles. Principle A: match the resource. If a task needs deep reasoning, allocate cognitive energy and reduce social demands. If it needs diplomacy, allocate emotional energy and reduce cognitive overhead. Principle B: reserve the scarce resource. High cognitive blocks should be protected from social and admin drains. Schedule them earlier when possible or shrink them into micro-sprints when not. Principle C: choose the lowest lift substitute. If you lack the required energy, find a low-cost proxy that achieves 60-80% of the benefit. Draft bullet points instead of a polished report. Send a short clarifying message instead of a long call. Allocation is not about doing everything. It's about matching what matters to what you actually have. Step 3. Buffer, 60-180 seconds. Immediately after allocating, insert a tiny physical or behavioral buffer that preserves the allocation. Buffers are simple, low-friction interventions that protect the chosen energy channel. Examples: for cognitive focus, set a visible 25-minute timer and remove chat notifications. For emotional labor, schedule a short breathing reset immediately before and a 5-minute recovery after. For low physical energy, do a single mobility routine or drink a glass of water and stand for 2 minutes. The buffer must be quick and non-negotiable. 3 breaths, 1 stretch, or flipping a timer. Buffers act like a gasket between tasks. They reduce bleed and allow the brain to switch cleanly. That is the core loop. Notice, allocate, buffer. Use it 3 to 5 times a day and you will begin to notice energy leaks close. Now let's make this practical with 3 everyday scenarios. Scene A, the overfull calendar. You see 4 back-to-back meetings and feel a tiny dread. Notice, label tense, social. Allocate. Decide which meetings truly need active emotional presence and which can be delegated or summarized. For 2 of them, propose a written update instead of joining. Buffer. Before the next required meeting, take 2 minutes of paced breathing and put a 5-minute post-meeting buffer in your calendar to recover. Scene B, the heavy thinking block. You need to write a complex proposal, but your inbox screams. Notice, tired, cognitive. Allocate. Protect the writing block by trimming the session to a single 45-minute sprint instead of an open-ended 4-hour chunk and decide the deliverable. Draft the core argument and a list of supporting data. Buffer. Set a 45-minute timer, put your phone on Do Not Disturb, and have a glass of water ready. Scene C, the emotional conversation. A friend or colleague needs feedback and you feel drained. Notice, irritable, emotional. Allocate. Offer a 20-minute check-in rather than an open-ended vent session, or suggest a time when you can be fully present. Buffer. After the conversation, plan a 5-minute micro-recovery. Walk, listen to one calming track, or do an expressive exhale. Across each scenario, the pattern is the same: quick awareness, precise decision, and a protective micro-action. To turn this into a habit, adopt 2 daily practices. Habit A, the morning energy map. 3-4 minutes. Each morning, map your day into 3 energy zones: high cognitive, high social, and low intensity. Assign tasks to each zone before you begin. This simple pre-allocation prevents urgency from hijacking your scarce high-energy windows. Habit B, the evening refill ritual, 5-10 minutes. Each evening, perform a brief refill routine. Note 1 true win, schedule 2 short restorative acts for tomorrow, movement, sunlight, a no-screen meal, and do a 3-minute relaxation practice. This ritual converts rest intent into scheduled acts, which reliably increases next day baseline energy. 2-week training plan to make the triage reflexive. Week 1, practice notice allocate buffer every time you detect friction. Aim for 3 uses per workday and keep a tiny log. Label, allocation decision, buffer used, outcome, 1 short sentence. Week 2, add the morning energy map and the evening refill ritual. At the end of week 2, review your log. How often did allocations reduce drag? Which buffers worked? Refine. The brain learns by small consequences. Consistently following the loop for 2 weeks builds a fast, near-automatic energy reflex. Important scientific foundations, brief and practical. Labeling internal states leverages metacognitive control and reduces amygdala reactivity. Matching task demands to specific energy types aligns with resource-based models in cognitive science. Attention, working memory, emotion regulation, and physical stamina are semi-independent systems with different recovery kinetics. Short behavioral buffers act like context switches in computing. Clean switches reduce time costs and cognitive residue. Translating science into everyday choices is the practical advantage here. Common traps and how to avoid them. Trap 1. I'll just conserve energy by doing less forever. Avoidance only prolongs depletion because unresolved tasks create stress. Instead, allocate intentionally. Do less of low-value work and schedule the essential tasks when you can meet them with aligned energy. Trap 2. I don't have time for buffers. Buffers are investments that pay back many minutes of protected focus. Treat them as mandatory small transactions. 3 deep breaths cost 10 seconds and can save 15 minutes of scatter. Trap 3. My environment won't allow boundaries. Use micro-boundaries, a visible timer, a short script to decline or reschedule, or an email template that reduces friction for others. Small social scripts buy you disproportionate space. Advanced variations for high performers. Variation A, the energy ratio for teams. At the start of a meeting cycle, specify how much emotional and cognitive energy that cycle requires and set team-level buffers, short debriefs, no meeting afternoons. This reduces collective exhaustion and improves decision quality. Variation B, the recovery microdose. When physical energy is low but cognitive demand is high, use a deliberate 12-15 minute active recovery. Brisk walk, sunlight exposure, short cold splash, proven to restore alertness and improve executive function. Variation C, energy budgeting for projects. Allocate energy budget across multi-day projects. Decide how many high cognitive hours the project will consume in a week and protect them first. Allow low-intensity admin to fill the outer hours. Measurement, 2 simple metrics to track. Metric 1, energy wins per day. A quick count of moments when your allocation produced a clearer result. Draft completed, meeting avoided, calm after conversation. Aim for +1 per day initially. Metric 2, recovery index. Subjective rating each evening, 1/10 of how restored you feel. Aim to increase by 1 point over 2 weeks. These metrics create feedback without turning life into a spreadsheet. Example scripts and phrases to use, social friction removed. I'm heads down on a high priority block. Can we do this over email? I can do 20 minutes now or a fuller hour at 4 p.m. Which works for you? I'll give you a clear reply by 17 o'clock. Need to finish a focused chunk first. These short, polite scripts protect energy while maintaining collaboration. The humane mindset that underlies this method. Energy management is not austerity for productivity's sake. It's stewardship of your capacity so you can show up more often with presence, patience, and creativity. Repeatedly choosing what to expend energy on is an act of kindness to your future self and to the people who rely on you. The last practical exercise you can do in 90 seconds. Pause, take 3 full breaths, label your current state in 1 word, and decide which single upcoming task truly needs your best energy. If it does, insert a 60-90 second buffer, water stretch timer. If it doesn't, choose the lowest lift substitute and schedule the high energy work later. That tiny loop, the triage, over time creates a different day. Fewer evenings spent hollow and more hours where you actually have energy to invest where it matters. If you try the 2-week plan, Come back and notice this. The first week you'll feel newly aware. The second week you'll feel newly empowered. Energy isn't a scarcity to endure, it's a resource to steward. Start by triaging one moment now.